All right, I'm back. I just want to report to the audience about half hour has transpired since I was last filming, and I came across my son, and I'm talking about embarrassing moments that parents embarrass. The sun is making my nose look extra red. It's normally not that red. Anyway, it's self-consciousness or self-awareness. But back to the program. So I love Manual. I love the East Side. I'm from this neighborhood. I'm a single dad, never been married, and I'm always around my son, and he's around me. He got really sick. He just lost his voice now. He's battling through stuff. A normal kid would be, at the pep rally and all the events, getting ready for the football game. Here we are, and we're still a half hour late for what we were needing to be to get him drilling with Coach Guy, who specifically called for Jimmy. And I'm praying to God about all this. And so when we're obeying God, it's not always easy to have a relationship with our sons, daughters, siblings, never been married, but let's say wife or spouse or husband. And so I just pray, and the moment of what's happening now is just the audience to know that we all go through it, and I go through this. I asked some of the youth, do your parents ever embarrass you? And they said, yeah, all the time, that's normal. Jimmy didn't hear that, and I didn't record that. Jimmy got him, not embarrassed, but he didn't want me to film and record this, which I don't want the joy in who I am to be taken away. Because sometimes demons and devils try to come through our family, friends, spouse, wife, husband, loved one. And then we are where I'm at now, where you're potentially in a conflict because you have the way of the world and the way of God. And one would maybe ask, well, why would they ever contradict? That's a really good question. My response to that is, if we live God's way, there never would be. But going back to the fall and eating the forbidden fruit, when we went against and ate from the tree of knowledge, that's when death became to us. We learned the secrets too fast, too soon, and we're still running rampant with that. So for the moment that we were at East, and for the time you did get to experience that, what a gift. The youth naturally started wanting to respond and share their stories, and that was the carry forth from last night. Because what I said to one of the parents, and there were other parents present from East and Northfield, which are economically a wealthier class than Cole and 5 Points. Although because of Denver now, it's a systemization to eliminate us, but keep us healthy just enough to work, to do the menial jobs, to basically be indentured servants, modern day slavery. And I'm just taking this extra time before I go in the gym to just give my kid some space. I can tell he needs some. I'm a great dad, a great person. He's a great kid. He's a great son, a great person. He really hasn't had a break. I haven't had a break. I'm a very intense person. I go at it really intensely. And sometimes could be a lot for anybody to handle. I have faith. I have a supernatural belief in God that He's going to carry us through all this. And this is still a gift. So I'm going to appreciate the music. This is me breathing. This is me being present. This is me appreciating the sun and the warmth of today. It's homecoming. We still have to get through some valley. The demons trying to still attack sickness. And it says that those who obey God, the blessings fall upon their children. And Jimmy's blessed. The superintendent, Jimmy was putting the rap down. He's also a great writer and poet. He's basically everything that I was before I got tampered with. And so I can't protect him from the ways of the world, but I can always lead him to God.
The Tafelmusik Baroque Orchestra.
And so that's what this prayer right now is, essentially. Let God show himself, yourself, God in him, my son. I'm beginning to meet beautiful black women, and women are beautiful. We've talked about this in the first podcast, some women. But there's just a certain je ne sais quoi, which is even beyond that. How the black woman is the seed of the soul, and the children of God are black, native, indigenous. And there are some lighter shades in there. It is always Christ over creed. I want to thank you, audience, for being part of this journey. I hope that more and more of you get to participate in this and get to share your greatness and your awesomeness as people. And we have the soul of gold. Muhammad Ali wrote a poem about, friends are far richer than a mountain of gold. And I'll recite that poem on this podcast. Interestingly enough, I'm donning the Jim Brown jersey, and I talked about him in podcast 1 with the Great Six. It wasn't Don Carlos. I think Don Carlos is reggae. But I know Carlos is one of his first names. It's the famous Olympics in Mexico where they were holding up their solidarity with the Black Panther with the black leather glove as they were winning 1, 2, and 3 in the Olympics. And I find it also very mystic that it was in Mexico. To my indigenous self, native self, ancestor self, I'm not bringing manifest destiny or some twisted version of God and conquering people in the name of God and introducing Jesus like that. That's not a Christian. I mean, historically that may be labeled a Christian, which who'd want to be a Christian? But that's not it. To be Christian is to be Christ-like, to be anointed by Jesus, to do the miracles in his name that he did. He says, where 2 or more of us are gathered in his name, so too is he there. The sun is shining pretty brightly, so I'm sort of squinting. And the things that he has done, we too and do more. We too will do and more in his name. So the great things he's done, we too will do and greater and more in his name. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with being a Christian, walking godly. So beginning to meet beautiful black women again, and the doors that were closed to me are beginning to open again. And if you are a beautiful black woman out there and you come across this podcast and I touch something in your soul, please reach out to me. I believe that friendship is the key to a good relationship. It goes God, man, woman, child, family. So my goal is to meet my wife. God hasn't already sent her. And so I'm not dating, but what I'm doing is shooting my shots. And God will reveal to me who that person is. I met this one lady on a dating app, a beautiful black woman, and she told me something that no woman has ever told me, which is she's a woman of God, for one. She asked me a couple clarifying questions. If I believe in God, I said yes. And then she clarified that further and said the Trinity, and I said yes. And she said good, because she doesn't want to be unevenly yoked with somebody. That really still impacts me. And what she also said to me was, please continue to date on this app, or use this dating app. Please continue to make sure that I'm the one. I've never had a woman tell me that. In my experience with women, they've always been jealous and usually I have to put on a mask, pretend, wear that suit that doesn't fit, not be me, be nice, which is just, I think, a false way of surrendering our dignity, because kindness, yes. Yes, kindness, absolutely. That's fruit of the Spirit of God. Kindness, wisdom, love, joy, purity, forbearance. Did I say self-control? Love, joy, purity, kindness, goodness, mercy. It was mercy. Wisdom, forbearance, or faithfulness. It doesn't say nice. So to the devil, to the devil and the demons, I'm never nice. To kids, some kids, because these little white kids are perpetrating a system of entitlement, and it's coming from parents. So this is a message to your parents. Hey, we don't want to follow your ways. Yeah, we deserve a house, but we're not going to sell out to get it, and you're sure not going to come get our house from us and kick us out. Whether you mean to or not, realize or not, every time you're doing this, you're trying to kill this neighborhood. You know, affordable, quality housing, community land trusts. Again, I always come with solutions, partnerships, donations. Will and heir your land to the community with a specific legacy plan, not to be turned over to the city and developed in the name of affordable housing and then just used to further gentrify and systemize, because not every black, brown, indigenous person is with God. Some of these are the greatest sellouts. We call them house Negro and field Negro. And I'm using a kinder word. But I do believe in nigga, which is never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. Don't get it twisted, audience. And then when these little white kids try to reach me, their way of reaching me is to say my bad, not I apologize or forgive me or I'm sorry, but my white entitlement background, I'm wired like that. It's a flaw. I'm flawed. Wow, that kid would have told me that. Or a parent came up, I apologize, I'm so sorry. But how can you fill a cup up if it's already overflowing with crap? You can't. So the message of this particular podcast is empty your cup and let us fill you up. We don't want your cup. We don't want manifest destiny. We don't want economic improvement. We don't want whatever your platforms are. We don't want your false niceties. Check that out the door. You're talking to the biggest sinner who's ever sinned. So before the audience could ever condemn, I'm going to condemn myself in the presence of God, and you, the audience, is my witness. I've done every wrong thing just about. Whether I was caught or not, it doesn't matter. I sinned. I erred. I went outside of the will of God. I did not obey or follow God. God, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, the Trinity in me. Let's see what music is on before we give the blessing.
Music for brass is in a moment.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins as we forgive those who have sinned against us, in and through your mercy. Lead us not into temptation, Lord, but deliver us from and through the evil ones. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, now and forever. God bless my son. God bless his friends, his teachers, the staff, the parents. God bless the game, the classroom, the field, the lab, the custodians, the people, the friends of Manuel, the helpers. Who knows how many friends of Manuel end up tuning into this? I'm not a Manuel graduate. I've never even been to Manuel. It took me to parenthood to be able to enter those doors. And once a thunderbolt, always a thunderbolt. I was born at Mercy Hospital, which is really across the street from East. It's 2 big high-rises now. So I'm really an angel bolt. This is live from Denver, TV. The host with the most from coast to coast. Let's all grab some water or honey or milk and have a toast. All praise and glory to the Most High, because this is me breathing, and God is the breath of life, and that's the word. I love y'all. Peace and joy. Want to make a contribution or donation financially? You can. I'll get a way to upload it. Just keep tuning in. Share the word with others in love, in light, in truth. JP from 5.